What up, dude? Welcome to another episode of the Detroit Sports Alliance Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are up and rolling. Sorry about the late delay. Technology people will fail you every time you need it the most. Let's go ahead and get everybody in the building. Let's talk about it. We got Mr. Micromike, man. Talk to the people.
Hey, fellas, it's a new era today. We are off Google Hangouts, and we are lock, cock, and ready to rock with some fantastic Lions news, commentary, and football. Let's get it.
I'm with that. Then we got the heart of the city, 313 J-Mo. What it do?
What's good, everybody? How's it going out there, man?
Hey, for sure. And then we have Noble Sports Entertainment, who will be with us in a short moment. Again, technology with fellas every step of the way. Man, we are excited for this one. Y'all don't even understand. The Detroit Lions is doing all types of stuff, and right now, this is the perfect time to be able to discuss what they're doing and, basically get an inside look at how they're doing it. So for me, we're gonna get right into the first question, man, and that is the Matt Patricia effect, man. Like, is it just me, or do it seem like Matt Patricia has an effect? And by that, I mean he seems to have a knack for being able to get people to, for being able to get people to come here. Whereas in the past, the head coaches didn't seem to have that attractive, didn't seem to have that attractive route. No, did I just hear Noble?
Noble in the
building. Noble was in the building. Noble was in the building. But again, is it just me, or do it seem like Matt Patricia seemed to have some type of effect where he's able to draw talent here, whereas other coaches in the past were unable to? Let's start that off with Noble Sports Entertainment. TA, talk to the people.
Yeah, what's the question?
See, it's like
what is the question?
The question is there a Matt Patricia effect when it comes to attracting players?
Well,
to
we ain't do roll call, man.
Oh, you know what? You mean do the roll call? I'll do the roll call. Let me get the roll call popping. My bad, people. Y'all gotta excuse me. All right. No, you got it. No, you got it, J-Mo.
Oh. All right, shout out to General G-Bay. What up, though? D. Williams in the building. What up, though? Tone of Voice. What up, though? Positively Detroit, a fellow DSA member. Make sure you go subscribe to him, man, for a new take. We got Chris Cashball in the building. Lions Lee in the building. What up, though? We got Richard in the building. What up, though? What up, everybody? Make sure you like the video so we can get this out to everybody out there. We got Bug Spray and George Morgan. What up, though? What's good?
What
y'all?
up, though?
What up, though, fellas?
What up, though?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if you like the new program. As you can see, we are still doing our thing, and it's going well. And look, Andrew says, "What about me?" We did not forget you, Andrew.
What's up, Andrew? What's up, Detroit Drew? What's up? He'll join us shortly.
Right, he said, "What about me?" We didn't forget you, man. Oh man, so okay. So here's the thing, people. Let's get back to TA. Let's get TA. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. TA, is there a Matt Patricia effect when it comes to attracting players to the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah, it's definitely an effect because you don't bring over a guy like Trey Flowers if there's no type of effect. Trey Flowers is pretty much coming off a Super Bowl win, and he'll be getting the ring this season. But there seems to be an effect
one next season too.
Yeah, we may get one this season, another one. Yeah, but it seems like Patricia does have effect on the players. He was able to get a lot of players in here that he is familiar with, and that is something that you want. You wanted to be able to get guys in here that believe in what you're doing. And when you heard the interview from Mike Daniels, this guy was very, very excited about the system that Matt Patricia is running over here. And that's what made him come over to the Lions. So definitely, man. And a lot of those guys that used to play in New England was like, man, I like what they're building in Detroit. Let me go to Detroit this season and let's see, can we do something special over there with these guys? Because it would be something really, really special, man, if the Lions would be victorious and grab a Super Bowl title this season. That would be very, very victorious.
I mean, I can totally see that, man. And I want to, I see we got Richard Head who says, "What up, though? Love the content you guys put out. Hey, we appreciate that, man. Thanks
What's up, man?
for rocking with us,
We
man.
love it, man.
We got George Morgan that says, "Yes, Luke, this is the first time we've had a coach that has enough respect to get players." I'm with that too, man.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things where I can see where you're going with it. Mike, what's your thoughts on it? I mean, do you think there's a Matt Patricia effect that's going on that's attracting players here?
Yeah, man. So when it came to New England, you heard a lot of players, even offensive players, not just defensive players, talk about how Matt Patricia loved the players, literally loved them, not just talking about football, but loved them off the field, loved them on the field as well, their families. He got personal with them. He treated them like men, the way that you should be treated, with respect. But he's also very knowledgeable when it comes to everything that's dealt with football. He knows schemes. He knows philosophy. Let's understand, this man's a genius. He literally got a degree in a field that not too many people can get into when it comes to just normal education. This guy is, overall, he's a genius when it comes to mathematics and science, but let's talk about how he's then a genius and it takes to on the field when he does schemes and philosophies. How can I take this defense, match it up against the offense? How can I get these players in the correct position to succeed? That's what he does. He takes the success of a player and he puts the success in that position. Instead of using a player that fits just a scheme, he puts that player that fits the scheme perfectly. Not too many coaches can do that. That's something that Bill Belichick is known for, and that's something that he has learned from Belichick throughout the years with him. Yes, we understand that a lot of coaches, when it comes to the Bill Belichick tree, does not come out correct, but for some reason, many of the players believe in him and that he does work. His philosophies does work. His ability to bring the best out in players work. I mean, you look at the players on New England, they really missed him when he left. When you look at Trey Flowers, when he decided to come to the Lions, he talked about that. When you talked about even Mike Daniels as recently, he talked about how he wanted to be with Patricia because he knows what Patricia can bring on and off the field. That's attractive. That's attractive to any individual that wants respect as a human being and be put in the position to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's the biggest part of it. I'm noticing that there seems to be a level of respect for how he goes about doing his business. Even when there's people who may not agree to all the aspects of how he do it, there seems to be a healthy respect for those who are like, yo, this is where it should be at. This is how it should be done. And to me, that healthy respect is what I look at. But J-Mo, what's your thoughts on it? Do you think there's a Matt Patricia effect that's going on that's attracting players here?
Well, first of all, I do want to acknowledge that the football season has started back up today. We got, it's a preseason game, but the first football game of the season has started, and the preseason is in a week, and that's exciting. But on the Matt Patricia, it's Super Bowls and plural. And I know Jim Caldwell won a Super Bowl, but most of the perception for most players is that was mainly, Tony Dungy, Peyton Manning type of thing, So, or what was it, Joe Flacco?
Right.
Yeah, so like they didn't really give him that much credit for it. They gave the other coaches credit for it. And when you look at Matt Patricia, and you look at his defenses, and even as a defensive player, you look at how good the Lions defense got last year. And one thing about Matt Patricia is if you're a Matt Patricia guy, Matt Patricia player, meaning you fit into his defensive scheme, then he is perfect for you. And a lot of people believe in what Matt Patricia is doing, and they believe that he is a genius. So they believe he is this great coach and anybody with eyes can tell you a lot of things happened last season, but Matt Patricia wasn't the main reason we was losing games. And I feel like the main reason we was losing games, we got rid of those reasons. Got rid of the horrible special teams coordinator, got rid of the offensive coordinator, and we got better throughout the end of the season. Even with Stafford had a broken back, and we ended the season 2-2. So,
Yeah.
It is what it is, and we did beat the Patriots for the first time in Tom Brady's career. I'm gonna say that again. We beat the Patriots for the first time in Tom Brady's career.
Right, exactly.
He's never lost to the Lions. Okay, so Matt Patricia, he's doing well, and these players really believe in him. And I always say this I think I try to put the hat on the player when you're going to a team and you know they got a genius coach, and on top of that, you know they got a quarterback you respect because Mike Daniels clearly respects Stafford. I mean, I know that clip resurfaced of him talking about Stafford on the top 100, but I remember watching it, when it first aired. So a lot of players, talk highly about Stafford. So you like they got a quarterback. What about the coaches over there? What about the general managers? And Detroit is doing well in that area. We got good general manager and good coaches on both sides of the ball, and just a nice culture. And coming here, I don't even want to say it like this, but if you're a player, you can put your head down and kind of get to work because it's not going to be the spotlight isn't going to be on you.
Yep.
And that's how it should be. It should be something that jumped out to me because what I happened to notice was, and maybe what I was looking at was, whoa, what the heck is that? Technology boy. That must be them ghosts jumping into the building. But yeah, I mean, when I look at what's going on, man, I'm noticing that a lot of it is simply players want to play for this guy. And I just can't remember the last time I saw that type of attention for a guy. Like I just can't remember. And then when I sit there and I hear people say stuff like, yeah, he a genius, and I came here because of that, and I came here because of this, and I'm like, yo, he's attracting players here. Not to mention we have the cap now to actually have the players that we want be here. So it's really interesting to see how that's all working out.
Isn't part of being look, this genius stuff, we can use this word lightly, whatever, but isn't part of being a genius your defensive system working? And it seems like as long as you get him the players for his system, the defense is guaranteed to be good. And when other players see that, I mean, that's why they want to come here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if they fit the system.
Yep.
Because they know,
it don't even matter what level of talent you got. Like as long as you fit the system and you do what you needed to do, or because with the Patriots they didn't have as good as talent as we have here.
Right. Absolutely, and the players know that they're going to be in a position to succeed because Matt Patricia has the ability to do that. He puts the best qualities of a player out there, and that's what they want. These folks get paid. They know if they can get in a better position to succeed, that means they have a chance to make more money. So obviously, that's an attractive.
What's good, Pride Time, B?
What's up, Pride Time?
Pride Time. Alien Source. What up, though?
Yeah, what's up, Chris? This is something that's phenomenal, though, guys. That from day one, you know what I'm saying, you're starting to see the changes, and you're starting to see the effect that Matt Patricia has on the players, and I think that this season you're going to get some of the best plays out of these players because finally you can say that he got the players buying in. Last season it was kind of iffy because it's your first year coaching and you don't know how the players are going to receive you as a head coach. And I think that Patricia this season, you can see the interviews, the smiles. He got guys in here that's going to play for him. And like I said, man, I really think that this is going to be something special. I know a lot of people are counting the Lions out before the season starts, but I just definitely think that it's going to be a change this season. And I think the Lions are going to do something special. And if that's getting into the playoffs and being able to win, we will accept that. If that's going to the Super Bowl, we're going to accept that. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, man, there's some brighter days for the Detroit Lions coming up in 2019.
Now, I know that some people are definitely out right now watching the Hall of Fame game. I can care less. To me, that game is about as meaningful for me as anything. I got better things to do. I'll go back and check it out because I have this thing called a DVR. But overall,
They got Kevin Hogan versus Matt Schwab. So that just tells you how much interested I
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would I want to watch that? Like,
Yeah.
you got people like Joe Flacco and Deshaun Watson that's supposed to be out there. I think it is.
Yeah.
And they put Matt Schaub, and I'm like, who wants to see this? Like, for what?
Well, the Hall of Fame game, they never play the starters.
Nope.
That's always
Right.
happens every year. So I don't even pay attention to it. I'm happy that the NFL is back, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to watch Lions football. And when I
Yeah.
want to watch other teams, I want to see their starters. I could care less about their backups.
Right. Because those
Yeah.
guys some of those guys are not going to even see the field. So yeah.
Right. And that's what you ultimately want to do. Like, for me, this game doesn't provide anything. But let's go on to the next topic really quick. This is the thing I've been thinking about for a minute, and it's something that for me that I feel like there are certain things that they're doing that draw attention to me. So the question is, and I'll start it off, is what is your favorite Lion improvement? Was it the head coach, the offensive coordinators? Maybe it's a player, the general manager, the draft. For me, my favorite move was picking up those tight ends, because that right there sets it up for the run.
Wait, what did you say?
I said my favorite Lions improvement this season, this off season thus far up until now, is picking up those two tight ends, because that sets us up to be able to run the ball.
Mhm.
And if we can run the ball, that's where we need to be at. I want to be able to run the
Absolutely.
ball and create a short passing game. And with that, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than being able to say, oh, we came into the season and we picked up a few people here and there. But no, those two moves signify a change of guards for me.
Absolutely.
So J-Mo, what is your favorite Detroit Lion improvement thus far?
Like, we just going this season or period?
This season.
I'm gonna say it's not really a move, but it's a philosophy. The philosophy of getting this defensive line to an elite level. To me, that's my favorite thing that's been going on with the offseason. And it's been a slow build since we got Snacks. But, getting this defensive line to an elite level, because that's what's going to really carry a team. And I don't know if a lot of Lions fans realize that, but when you really study football, having an elite defensive line is just a completely different thing,
Mm-hmm.
And what you were saying about the tight ends, I know I sent y'all thinking about that. Sent y'all that thing about NFL Network where they love, man. TJ Hawkinson is loved by the national media.
Yeah, they love
Everybody loves him. They think he's great and amazing. I mean, I know we do too, but I feel like because he's so good, people acting like Jesse James was a mistake or he's not a top tier player, man. You're sadly mistaken, man. He's gonna have a huge role on this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like the philosophy of getting this defensive line elite.
Absolutely.
I mean, so for you, Mike, what's your favorite improvement thus far?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I got to do two here, but it will come combination of one. So it's the addition and the subtraction. So the subtraction of Nevin Lawson was a huge upgrade for me. He was terrible. So we'll move to the addition of Darrell Bevell. I think, again, like I said it last week, how the addition of Darrell Bevell really changes everything. Because if you can have an offense that's consistently on the field and maintaining drives, long sustained drives, it gives your whole defense a rest. You give your defense a rest, they can make more plays and have the ability to get after the opposing quarterback. When you get after the opposing quarterback, that means the secondary can make turnovers. And how do you win games? It's always turnovers. It's always running the ball. And this is what Darrell Bevell is bringing. He likes a balanced offense when you run the ball and play action to wide receivers and play action to the tight end. I think his addition is immense, and it will be felt. It's very under-talked about with the mainstream media because they just assume that this offense is going to be bad. But when we had KFC, he destroyed this offense. And I'm talking about Stafford did not have the ability to do the audibles he wanted. They did not have the players in at the right time. They would take Kerryon Johnson out for whatever reason. He would throw in LeGarrette Blount. All this nonsense, this gobbledygook that's been plagued on the offense is gone. Now we have an offensive coordinator that has won playoff games, that has won Super Bowls. It's going to transform the whole team. The whole team is going to get better because of this man. And he is going to change this offense from garbage offense last year to, in my opinion, a top 10 offense. And it's going to lead us to the playoffs. It really will.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair shot. Now we got the KFC himself who says, who is the biggest offensive weapon out of the Johnson, Hockenson, or Galladay off the play action? I personally think that it's going to be TJ Hockenson. Having that mid game is going to change everything. What are your thoughts on that, Noble?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like my biggest Lions improvement was, I'm gonna definitely say it has to be the draft. The draft was one of, I'm gonna say two things. It's the draft was one of the improved guys like Jelani Tavai, who's proven.
I mean, if everybody had two, I would have said another one too.
Yeah, well, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Let's do it.
Jelani Tavai was a huge pickup for us because I think this guy's gonna be a stud. And at the same time, I also have to say the defense. Patricia was happy to get the defensive players on this team that we needed to make this defensive scheme be set and go forward. You know what I mean? So he was definitely happy to be able to get some of the guys that he knew that can play the way he know that they can play, and getting guys like Trey Flowers, bringing in Justin Coleman, bringing in Rashawn Melvin, some of the ex-Patriots coming over, and just being able to lend a hand to this defense. And a key part of that was definitely getting Snacks Harrison, who pretty much single-handedly changed the defense. He really changed the defense and the culture of what we trying to do. That's to be able to stop the run on Sundays, and if we're good enough in the front in the front seven, if we're good enough with that, I definitely think that our defensive backs are going to get a lot of picks this season. Because we're going to be getting there.
Remember, our defense has been lacking since Sue left, and now we have another dominant defensive tackle on Snacks Harrison, at least when it comes to stopping the run and getting double teams and pushing the pocket and creating a little bit of pressure. So now we surround him with all of this talent. You know, our defense is going to be really dominant. So
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Building through the trenches, man. We just got to get that guard.
Well, let me ask you this though, TA. Who do you think is going to benefit more off that play action? You think it's going to be Johnson? You think it's going to be TJ Hockenson? I mean, who you think benefits off that?
I definitely think it will be Hockenson the most. He's going to benefit of it. I think it's going to be Hockenson, or Danny Amendola too as well, because when you need that third and 7 or 3rd and 6, Danny, I definitely think that he's going to be money, and him and Hockenson is going to be money with those play action, because a lot of teams think we're going to go deep and then we're just going to hit you with that nice 10 or 15 yard pass or whatever. You know what I mean? And I definitely think that Hockenson is going to be able to make some noise with that.
Who do you think is going to be, J-Mo?
I think it's going to be off of play action. I'm gonna go with the receiver, not just Galladay, but him and Marvin Jones. I think that they're gonna thrive off of it, because I think on some drives our tight ends will be getting plays called from. Sometimes they'll get open, and then Carrion's gonna be running the football, and then that's when you run it again, but it's a play action, and then you go for the deep ball with Marvin or Kenny Galladay on either side, or a crossing route, just something like that. Because I've seen us do that with the 30-second rushing attack, play action, and then throw a deep ball to Marvin Jones. So that's what I'm gonna stick with.
Yeah, now I know we got another question up there. This from Positively Detroit 9071. Make sure you subscribe to a fellow DSA member. He says, "Hey Luke, do you think some of us are putting too much expectations on Darrell Bevell? I definitely expect the offense to be improved, but I can't decide what to expect from the offense." Yeah, I do. That's why I keep saying around 1920, somewhere in that area, because I think that they're going to have key parts of the game that's going to be effective. But I also don't think that it's going to be a night and day in terms of saying like we just jumped from 21st to 10 in offense. I haven't seen that in his career. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
I think it's going to be a huge improvement, and I believe that it will start out a little slow throughout the season because it is a new scheme. But how the offense was so garbage last year, and if you look at Matthew Stafford throughout his career, we've always had a top offense in the NFL. But when it came to whatever reason, when JBC came in here and implemented his offense, it really slowed down. Now, if you look at Darrell Bevell, everyone assumes it's a run-heavy offense, but it is not. It is a very balanced offense. It's very mixed with the run and the pass. The offense was so bad last year, just removing KFC automatically, in my opinion, jumps them up 6 spots. They will start off a little slow. I will say maybe, top 15 when it comes to the NFL. But by mid-season to later season, I do see them as a top 10 offense. We have too many weapons. We have too many ability to run the ball, to play action, to pass, and we have too much of a good defense that is not going to make our offense that much better. The defense is going to get more turnovers. They're going to make more plays than we've had in the last couple of years, in my opinion, and that will give the ball back to Matthew Stafford in the offense, and I absolutely believe that this offense is going to be potent.
Okay. What are your thoughts on it, J-Mo?
I definitely think the offense is going to have a vast improvement because you got to look at it like this. Even though we started using carry on a little bit slower last year, even if that was a mistake, JBC didn't use him a lot. Also, carry on did get injured, so Darrell Bevell, we're assuming will have him for a full year. You got T.J. Hawkinson, you got Justin James, Amendola now replaces Tate, and then you have a healthy Marvin Jones. All of those factors alone, regardless of Darrell Bevell's play calling, all of those factors alone will be why the offense will be much better. As Mike said, Stafford has had plenty of top 10 offenses, passing offenses. Top 3, 2 is the highest I think he's been. So I've seen him do it with much less. And when you add in the running game is only going to make the passing game even better. So the more we run the football, the more we going to pass the football. And it's going to be some games where our receiving core is just unstoppable. Mm-hmm. And the offensive line has to hold up. But I think this offense is top 10 no matter what, just because of the weapons. And Darrell Bevell knows how to use tight ends. And we got 2 of the best tight ends in the league right now.
Now we got Detroit Drew in the building. Detroit Drew, what up, though?
Oh, you gotta work in your intros, man. Mike's way better at that. Come on, man. You're better than
me. hey, that's why Mike is who Mike is, man. Mike intros are amazing, man. I don't got it like that, man. That dude, I don't know how it's like.
Just a cool guy, man. That's all
right. Devin 99, what's up? But I think Darrell Bevell is going to take our offense to the next level.
Detroit Drew, man, listen, we just sitting up there talking about the expectations. Like, are we giving too much expectations to Darrell Bevell? Is it fair to say the offense is going to jump up to this top 10, top 15, or are we lofting too high of a expectation to him?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, but you gotta look at it this way, okay? When your defense and just training camp is confused by your hand signals that they don't know what you're calling, it's going to be a change-up. Week 1 against the Jets was an embarrassment since they knew what we were calling when we were calling it. It's always good to change just the signals up, even if they mean the same thing, but you're incorporating a whole new offense. So at the same time, Matthew Stafford and company have to adjust to it. It's going to take some time, Like Mike said, it's probably going to be right around 8 to 9 games before they really incorporate this offense. It's going to take time, but we got the system for Matthew Stafford. We got the talent for Matthew Stafford to thrive in. This team, like you said, it's talented. We got a good red zone targets in our tight ends. We got 2 extremely talented, underrated wide receivers. And then we got, some good quality slot receivers to help fill them up. So it's going to be fun to watch, but it's going to take time for them to learn and adjust to it.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm not like when I go through and I look at the history does not support this jump like to a top offense. Now he's had a year off. That could be a little bit different. Shout out to the Big Take. What up, though? But I think that a lot of it is you want to go into it with a realistic, and I think that if they are able to contribute to the Russian attack and have it be effective, the rest of it is a cupcake walk for me. That's why I don't want to get too caught up in the expectations. So,
well, you haven't seen this from him, but he's never been with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. This is literally a quarterback that can make every throw on the football field and can air it out with the best in NFL history. It's a little bit different because when we got Brett Favre, he was old, so it's a little bit different. He's never played with a quarterback like Stafford before, so it's gonna be plenty of times where we know huddling. We know huddling, and we're not, calling the regular offense. We're just lining up and going. So,
as we should. Now we got 51 people in the chat. We got 21 likes. Let's get those likes up, people. This is how you get everything out there. We got Lions Lee, who says it's a guarantee someone will have a down year and not live up to expectations / hype. So, who are your guys' pick for this player on the team? The guy that I think that will not live up to the hype. For me, honestly, I think it's gonna probably be Danny Amendola, because I think that the way that they distribute the ball is going to go to the tight ends and other people more. But what say you, Detroit Drew?
You know what? I'm gonna go with a surprise here. I don't think TJ Hawkinson is gonna be as well as we think he's going to be. This guy's gonna be a monster, but he is a rookie. I think everyone's expecting Gronk numbers from him right away. I think really year 2 or year 3 is really where he's going to take off. I don't really like putting that much pressure on rookies to begin with, just because we don't know how they're going to translate to the game. I hope he proves me wrong, though, but that's who I'm going with.
Okay. And what say you, Noble Sports Entertainment?
I guess if I'm looking at a player, I'm looking at somebody, I guess somebody like a Kenny Wiggins.
I mean, he ain't living up to hype. There's some really bad.
What hype is he getting?
Noble, you got to pick somebody else. That's the easy way out.
That was a straight.
No, man. Kenny Wiggins, man.
Pick a real player, please. He can be on either side of the ball. Pick a real player.
No. When I look at a player, I think it's going to be Christian Jones, man. I definitely think that if he makes the team, I definitely think it's going to be him, because you have not been hearing too much in training camp about Christian Jones. It's like he's not even on the team anymore. So I definitely think if he makes the team, he's probably going to be one of those guys that don't live up to it this season.
Mike can introduce the ending before the beginning.
Hey, listen, Mike got them intros down pat, man. He got me. Listen, I might have to have him just be the guaranteed intro dude for everything, because he come up with the strangest stuff. That man said I can literally hear sign language. I'm still trying to get past it.
Yeah. He said
right.
Man that can tell time without a watch.
I could kill 2 stones with 1 bird, man.
Right. You see, I see it, man. But wow. What say you, J Mo? Who are you looking at that's not going to live up to that expectation?
Because I know even I've had a little bit, I had a little bit of faith in him, and I thought that I do think he's going to have a good year, but I just think we're in for a kind of change we don't see. I know what Drew said about TJ Hawkinson, but I don't even think what TJ is, it's not going to be forced. It's not like we're going to be forcing him to be some star. He's just going to be that guy. That's kind of the way that I think. Like, he's just gonna not always be open, but he's just gonna be open or he's just gonna be there. Mm-hmm. And besides that, and I think that's gonna change a lot of the philosophy with the team. And I think Marvin Jones is not gonna have that big of a year. I could see him having like 600 yards, because I can really see these tight ends and Kenny Golladay just taking off, and Danny Amendola and Fulgham and Agnew. We got a lot of weapons. Isaiah Ward, I just think I could see him having like 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. Wow. Not saying he will, but I could see it happen. I wouldn't be, because somebody's numbers are gonna have to be hurt. I know it could be Danny's, but sure. But somebody at the top, because I'm telling you, once we really get in the groove, TJ and Jesse James they're gonna be such a problem.
Yeah.
With Kerryon Johnson running the football, people ain't gonna know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, it's one of them things where I think that was an excellent question to ask, because it's, I think Lions Lee pointed out something that I'm like, yeah, somebody's not gonna live up to the hype. I mean, and right now I've been hearing a lot of news that Justin Coleman has been getting cooked in practice. So that's not good to hear. You definitely don't want to hear that.
Not after he got that large amount of money. No.
Yeah, right. And you to hear that he's getting cooked, it's like, what do you mean? Now the big take says the new live setup looks good too, man. Hey, appreciate that. We're trying different things to make it a little bit different and more interactive for you, the listeners. Now. Flynn Hahn says Bevell is a proven commodity over a number of years and more than one team. Jim, I don't say his name, was an assistant promoted mid-season. The offense is definitely going to be improved. I can get with that, man. You ain't gonna get too many complaints out of me on that. Dominic Davis says, with a hefty carry-on talent at the right end position and protection, our defense to shut down the opposing team's run, our offense should wear down any defense. That's the whole point of running the ball, man. That's what New England has done year in and year out, and nobody has recognized it.
Run that clock out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how you want to do it. You want to be able to kill that clock. So I mean, but
Positively said, if everyone is expecting Marvin Jones to get 1,000 yards, then he might have to agree. Yeah, I think people are expecting him to get 1,000 yards. Because some people don't think T.J. Hockenson or Jesse James are going to do that much.
Yeah, there seems to be this weird belief that there's not going to be this explosion in offense, but people don't realize tight ends make everything different. Go and ask the Eagles, go and ask the Kansas City Chiefs. Tight ends make a world of difference.
Better ask them. That's when they got the best tight end in the game.
Now, Brian Ellis says, nice, you got the new interface. Hey, appreciate it, man. Doing stuff new. And he also says, what up, though?
What up, though?
Yo, what up, though?
Now, listen, this is my thing I've been trying to figure out, because I know that we always talk about the NFC North, and that the division winner automatically gets into the playoffs. We know this is the case. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So to me, here's the question, okay? The question is, let me rephrase it. How do the Detroit Lions stack up to the rest of the NFC? Because getting to the playoffs is what I believe most of us believe is going to happen. We all, am I wrong in saying that we're all in the agreement that we're going to make it to the playoffs? Is that a fair statement from all of us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now the question becomes, how do we stack up to those other teams who can possibly make it to the playoffs? I mean, let's just say hypothetically the Eagles make it to the playoffs. How do you think the Lions stack up against them? Let's start off with J-Mo on this one.
Oh, I ain't scared of no Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz don't want no smoke. Matthew Stafford will build his legacy off of you.
You said you ain't worried about Carson Wentz, huh?
No, I'm really not. Like, it's funny. I'm not dissing Carson Wentz when I say this, but it's quarterback that I would respect more in playoff games and have that healthy fear. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's not one of those guys. I have more of a healthy fear than Dak Prescott just because he makes plays than Carson Wentz. Anyway, how do we stack up with the rest of the NFC? I think pretty good, because usually every year, at least the last 2 years, it's been that team that you knew was going to be really good and you expected it. Last year, with all the stuff the Rams did in free agency, I mean, they basically went like us in free agency. And I'm like, okay, there's no way they're not going to the Super Bowl unless something crazy happened. That's exactly what happened. You knew the Rams and you knew the Saints were going to be really, really good coming into this year. You knew. Now, I mean, the Saints, we still think they're going to be good, but it's a little bit more questionable. The Rams, a little bit more questionable. The Eagles, the Packers are dead in the water. But I don't really have that healthy fear of any team that I'm like, that team is going to be good for sure. When I look across the NFC, I don't have that feeling that I normally have, and I think the Lions, we slide right in there. We could be a top 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now Detroit Drew. What
That
I
could
mean,
push
like,
it
what
up.
your thoughts? Do you think is there like how do we stack up to the NFC as far as you can see it?
Well,
Because
I
we're
want
going
to
to
say
go against.
one last thing. With these teams, is you go offensive line, defensive line, receiving core, quarterback. We got the top, at least top 3 defensive lines with top 5 quarterback, top 5 receiving core in the NFC. So we're pretty good. Offensive line, I ain't mentioned that, so I'm worried, but it's
Now, now
cool.
we now we got a question really quick that's directed directly to Mike
Yeah.
from Andrew Isham. He says, Mike, my question is if the defensive coordinator does not perform at a high level and the defensive play calling does not work, will Patricia make changes before we get too far behind the season? Mike, what say you?
Now, this is a great time to ask this question, and I see another question. I'll actually relate it to the question that you gave. So, if the defense would start slumping due to Pascaloni, I don't even know if it's really that big of a deal because you got to understand that Pascaloni was a coach with Matt Patricia back in the day. Their scheme is very similar, and I think Matt Patricia actually utilizes the scheme and pumps up the defense a lot more hands-on than you would expect right now of a head coach. I think his input already is immense in it. So I think that Pascaloni and Patricia are pretty much one and the same since he's always voicing his opinions when it comes to defense. So I think if it was to start to slump, maybe he would be more involved than what he is now, but I think he's fairly involved right now. And the other question that was directed to me was, let me see here. Well, I cannot find it now. It just went away. Yo, Mike, my question is, what will Matthew Stafford's touchdown to interception ratio this year be? Okay, so this I'll do with stacked up into the NFL. I think Matthew Stafford could have 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. And I think this alone will really skyrocket us in the NFC. I think the team that we really do need to watch out, if possibly when it comes to seeds, because I think we're going to win the NFC North, would be the New Orleans Saints. I think they have a very potent offense as well. And that's a team to monitor when it comes to seeding. I think they could have a very great record this year, possibly a 13-3, a 12-4 type record. And when it comes to the Lions, I think we're going to be right in the mix there as well when it comes to win-loss record. So I think that would be the team I would say, okay, we got to look for seeding for there. When it comes to the Eagles, I'm not too worried about the Eagles, just like 3-3 JMO is as well. I think with the additions of our defensive line when it comes to Mike Daniels and we have Snacks and all the pass rush ability, I think I'm not afraid of the Eagles, but I think the Eagles quarterback, Wentz, should be afraid of us. When it comes to like the Panthers or that division there, man, it's crazy because that division flip-flops every year. A team could be really good, like the Falcons could be bad one year and they could be really good. So it's hard to determine how they're going to play out, but I still think we have an advantage. Seattle Seahawks as well, they're always fairly a good team, but I still think we have the advantage over them. So I think the one team we would have to monitor would be the New Orleans Saints because I think they are going to have a good year as well as us.
It's funny if my picture worked out all correctly. I got us facing them in the championship game, so I understand your sentiments.
Yeah, you say to you, this is nothing new for you, huh?
Well, when it comes to 3-1-3 JMO, he's my twin, man. I told you all we agree like on 99% of the stuff, man. And we look alike. We do look alike.
Again, it's one of them things where for me, when I look at it, I just simply ask the simple question of, I've seen Matt Patricia stop head coaching to go and tell the defense, look, this is what I want. This is what I expect. Get it together. Stop playing with me. And to me, I think he won't have no problem if his guy is not getting it done. And I think that is the case that we're seeing. But again, back to the question. Let's get back to Detroit. Drew, how do you see us stacked up against the rest of the NFC?
I agree with you guys, man. The Saints, I don't like how we match up against the Saints. We always end up in some kind of a gunslinging battle with Drew Brees. And Drew Brees is the man. He's probably one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've ever seen play. Not to mention that their defense is kind of underrated. It's not flashy. It's not going to be a power ranking defense, but you can't sleep on them because they do have some playmakers on their defense. But I'm not buying the Rams hype train. Chicago, I think what they did offensively was a lot of smoke and mirrors. Depending on if Ezekiel Elliott plays for the Cowboys, I think that if he does play, we'll have a hard time containing him, like most teams do. Seattle's always a tough team against us, but really outside of that, I don't think that anyone's head and shoulders over us. I think we have just as good a shot as anybody, and I think a top 4 seed is very reasonable, especially if we can pull out and win this division between us and Chicago.
Hey, George Morgan said Coleman looked like everyone else on D getting embarrassed by the rook. Talking about TJ Hawkinson fried everybody. Hey, I told y'all. Hey, we don't overreact to training camp, but why TJ Hawkinson frying everybody in the secondary? Pick a player, he frying them.
Yeah,
it's all good,
he's doing
man.
good so far, man. He's doing very good. You can't even get mad at it, man. But what say you though? TA, like what say you as it pertains to how we stack up against the rest of the NFC?
Man, well, pretty much I think we stack up good. I think, I still don't want to forget, the type of defense that the Vikings have and the Bears have. They do have a tough defense, especially the Vikings. They really have a tough defense over there. I know Chicago has a different defense now. So they lost a lot of those players, but they still have Khalil Mack, and he's one of the best at what he does. Other teams like the Eagles, not too much worried about the Eagles. They're going to be a different team this season. Seattle is always tough because their defense always play us pretty good, and it's always kind of a low scoring game with Seattle. Anytime you get matched up with those guys, but for the rest of
you see Mike, man.
For the rest of
Mike out here in this building, Peter, is that you?
Spidey Mike.
There is a thing as two
Mighty Mike.
Spidey Mike. Okay. So yeah. I think Luke, man, pretty much we stacked. I think we fare well this season, man, because we got a different team. We got a different agenda that we're trying to bring, and we're trying to be led by our defense. I know last season the defense ended the season top 10. So definitely, if we can do that again and continue to play get some good football on defense, I think that we got a fair shot, man, against a lot of the teams in the NFC. But definitely, man, I know that Vikings defense is always scary because they got good corners and they got a good front seven. So that defense is always going to be scary as well. But I think that I think we're going to do good, and I think that the seed that we will get would probably be anywhere from 3 to 4. I'll say somewhere in there.
I agree.
I think for me, when I look at the Lions and how it stacks up to the rest of the NFC East, I mean not the NFC East, but the NFC as a whole, I think what I'm noticing is they're going right on par with everybody else. Create a mid-range game with the tight end, run the ball, and then kill you through play action and misdirect down the field. And those little things to me is what I look at that tells me that we are on par to compete with many of these teams. Not to mention the fact that they have been loading up that defensive line like to no avail. Like they want it to be known when we roll out, and that's where we are, going to be at. Now, who is doing all that typing? What is going on?
I don't know, man. That sounds crazy. It ain't me.
Hey, man.
Yeah, bro, it sounds like a thunderstorm.
Right. Like they trying to eat their phone. What's happening? Now, it says also, have you guys thought of adding a call-in line? Hashtag better than 97.1. Yeah, we're going to do the call-in line, man. I just, personal life has been getting in the way of a lot of this stuff, man. And so we're going to get that all squared away and have it in the call-in line. This is the case. Now
we got 57 likes. Make sure you guys like the video.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's how this thing keeps going, and that's where we want to be at. Now we apparently Spidey Mike has left the building.
My identity is
Michael is back in the house, guys.
Yeah, man. Hey, so I know people ask this, but yes, I do make costumes. I made this. So.
Yeah, he's doing all this stuff, man. Mike is the one. Man, y'all don't listen. When Mike said he's a cool guy, he's not playing.
He's a cool guy, man. He really is.
He is truly doing doing his thing and getting it done, man. I'm telling you, Mike. I know you're also keeping eyes on that Hall of Fame gang.
I'm about to say
Even
Drew Lock getting his first snaps.
yeah, because even though I can care less, I can't
Yeah,
care
it's
less.
the,
And
the
we
story.
played Broncos this year. They just got Riddick, so I'm very confident we losing to them now.
Yeah,
The
and we got to see Riddick this
I
season.
already knew they was gonna lose. Riddick gonna go for 150 on the dog.
Yeah,
We got
I mean,
Hey, do we hear some robo
yes.
back there? It sounds bad, man.
yeah, I don't know who that is, too.
Sound like somebody eating Captain Crunch or something.
Yeah.
If that's you, Drew, I think that might be Drew.
Silence it, mute his mic, and see if it stops.
J
Who will
Mo.
make the roster? Nada or Thomas?
Yeah, J Mo good. Yeah, that was Mike. He probably got to readjust.
Yeah.
So
Nada.
Mike will be back, man. Who would make the roster? Nada or Thomas or both? Meaning Lions keep 4 tight ends. I think if Thomas show up and show out in preseason, they'll keep 4 tight ends. I suspected they would keep 4 tight ends, but I think Isaac Nata is ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because Bob Quinn like his draft pick, and Isaac Nada has not been bad in camp or OTAs or so.
Hey, he's known for great hands, folks. This guy has the ability to catch a ball like no other. He really does remind me of Hernandez back in 2011 without the murder. And I'm serious about that.
What was that?
Everybody know what Hernandez did, so you don't even have to bring that up. But
wait a minute, did you see how he did it though? He was like, yeah, he reminds me of Aaron Hernandez without the murder. Like he had to put listen, that disclaimer. That's what he had to do. I ain't mad at you, Mike.
But I'm serious though. I think he has the ability to really be a passing threat. I'm not suggesting this year he's going to be that. I think he'll more develop in that to next year. But I think his ceiling is very high. And I think they're going to keep him on the roster because they understand that he does have a future with this team. I think, again, he can really become like a Hernandez in the next couple of years. Sit there, put him on the roster, develop him, turn him into a beast. And just like Bob Quinn's been doing, he drafts people for not just this year, but for the years following. I think Nada will be one of those players.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and also he brings versatility. You can put him at the tight end spot and move TJ Hawkinson to the fullback spot and use him as an out of the backfield receiver or a blocker. It's so many options you can do. You can do the same thing with Isaac Nada. So it creates these different levels to the play options. Now I know Combat Sack said, "What's one game I can go to demonstrate Bevell's offense?" It's a lot of them actually, just not just on Darrell Bevell's. But the thing is,
Micromike's video.
Yeah, Darrell Bevell takes a lot of time to create the offense based on who he's playing. So you may turn around and look up and see you can go to the Tennessee Titans, look at a bunch of their offensive play calling in between there, how they set it up and running the game. The Eagles, he has really done a good job of switching it up. So it's not one size fits all for him.
Mr. Making all types of kind of games. Yes, we hear you. We totally understand that. Trust me, we're in development to get avatars put up. And so it's a better presentation for you. Right now, we don't have the ability because the program is not programmed to it yet. This is a very new system we utilize. And the guy that we got it from is very new. No one knows about this system. And I spoke with the creator of it, and this will get put up. It's just he's got to create it. And, when it comes to technology and getting through all those coding issues, I deal with a lot of coding at my civilian job. It's hard, and so that's what he's dealing with now. It will get fixed, though.
He's definitely said it's something that he's working on, but he wanted to get this done and launched. Since today was the day that they killed Google Hangout, so he wanted to do this. So,
and that's why I put my camera up so you guys can have a visual of something. So
guys, don't worry. Definitely, you'll get a avatar with us up there. Definitely.
Yeah, it's something that is known and is being definitely worked on. So I don't want y'all to get discouraged. We are still here. Okay, so
we are still here, and we're not telling you.
Now, I didn't get Let me see. Oh, I didn't get Drew because his thing went out. Okay, so because he would have been the next person up for the question, for the culture question. But let me go to the next question. How concerned, are you guys about these interceptions that's being thrown in practice by Matthew Stafford? We're gonna start off with J-Mo because I know J-Mo got a lot to say about this, and if he don't, I'll be shocked. J-Mo, what are your thoughts on these INTs that Stafford is serving up in the the practices right now?
I love it, man. It's great news. Honestly, I mean, as long as it's not 6 interceptions in a practice, I'm cool. It's great. It's great news because our defense couldn't turn the football over literally to save their life. It was like save your life, turn the football over, or die. We would have died all last year. So to hear, to see, Jelani Tavai and I think a Warrior, see them get their hands on the football is great because this is still experimental. There's a lot of things going on with the offense. And it's, I'm thinking about it from that perspective. People are going to say whatever they want about Stafford because I guarantee you, if Stafford didn't throw an interception all camp, people be like, so what? It just can't. So it doesn't matter either way. But I like to hear that our defense is turning the ball over because the first few weeks, our defense was getting destroyed by the offense. And then everybody was saying, oh, man, our linebackers can't cover. Oh, man, our safeties can't cover. Oh, man, why is our defense being killed like this? How good are we going to be? But all of a sudden, the defense steps it up and starts crushing the offense. Oh, my goodness. The offense looks so bad. It's so many picks. People are dropping passes. What is going on now? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are spot on with that assessment because what that tells me is he's working out the kinks and still trying to figure out how to put the touch and get that muscle memory down pat so he can get the ball to him. And that to me is a huge part of it.
Wait, what did Barry say? He threw 5 yesterday. He's throwing a lot of red zone INTs. I don't know how credible that is, but that makes me even happier if we get a red zone touchdown. I'm sorry, honestly, because that's one thing we never get.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? What's up, Dev99?
So what say you though, TA? I mean, are you concerned by this? I mean, Stafford has been serving that ball up in practice.
Wow.
Yep.
That was very insightful. I mean,
that was the best point I heard all night.
He's probably making some misreads out there, and it happens, man. It's training camp. You got to get better. And some of the guys are reading the play pretty well, and they making a pick. Just plain and simple. It happens. It's nothing. It's nothing to go up in arms about, because he's throwing picks in the training camp. It's gonna happen, man. Because those guys are out there competing to get on the team. So you're going to throw some picks. Stafford's going to misread some plays out there, but I think he's going to get better, man. So we don't have to worry about the picks and the things like that in training camp. Now you're going to throw a few in the regular season too, as well. But at the same time, I just think he got to get better with his reads and his progressions and things of that nature, and he'll be straight, man. He'll be good to go.
Micromike, what say you? I mean, you got any type of real concern as it pertains to what's going on over there with him throwing these INTs, man? I'm hearing that he is in the rarest of rare forms when it comes to these INTs.
I've been expecting this. I have been expecting that the offense would start much slower compared to the defense. I was actually shocked to find out how well the offense was doing early on. This is to be expected. It's a whole new scheme with a lot of players not knowing in position where they're going to be. As a wide receiver, I can tell you it is imperative. It is imperative to be on the exact mark, at the exact spot, at the exact time that the ball's got to be there. It's all about being coordination with your quarterback. Right now, that's not happening because it's a whole new scheme. It takes a little bit. But what is good news about this and what's really great about this is what JMO and I, because I know we've been talking about this forever, is how well this secondary is going to produce. When you come with Walker making the pick, awesome. Darius Slay, we know what we got with him. Diggs. Folks, the secondary is making big-time plays. They're making plays because this is how well they're going to be this year. I've expected the offense. I've expected Matthew Stafford to throw many picks in the training camp. I also like it because do it now. Do these hard plays, these plays that you're going to be doing in the season when you're doing a lot of red zone. Do it now so you can get on the same page with your wide receivers and your tight ends. I cannot tell you enough as being a wide receiver how very, very important you get that chemistry. And they're doing it now. This is why he's pushing it, is to get this chemistry done.
Imagine how many picks he will be throwing against that Jaguars defense from 2 years ago.
Right.
Like, they didn't even play against Blake Bortles at all because they didn't want to break his confidence. Like,
yeah. I definitely see what you're saying, because one of the things I look at, and I think it was Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees, they all said this. They all had camps a few years where they was throwing all these interceptions, and they was like, what better place to do it than now? How else am I going to know where I can put this ball at for my receiver or tight end or whoever to know where to get it? So there's no cause for concern there. Whereas for some people, they may say, well, shouldn't there be a cause for concern? And I'm like, I don't think there should be one at all. I think if you actually look at it, that this is a good thing. He's getting them all the kinks out. He's figuring out where they're going to be at. And the truth is, I got to be honest, I know it's practice. I do not buy into the hype of practice. I just don't.
No, me neither.
Okay? But TJ Hockenson is finding openings left or right, and Mike hit on a very good point. They're learning a whole new system. So if they learn this whole new system and there was no kinks and no bugs, that's one thing. Not to mention, even that interception by Jelani Tavai was just a good play by the defender. People act as if though that a defender, like they act like we just have offensive players. Nobody's on defense. Nobody is doing anything of substance. And the truth is, you have to be able to see the most simplest thing of it, which is there are good defensive players who make plays.
Right, that's true.
Even supposed to be better than our offense anyway.
Right.
I would be very concerned if there's no interceptions. That's what get me concerned. Because having a whole new scheme with players in different positions and the secondary cannot get turnovers, that would have me concerned, because last year we did not have many turnovers. That was a concern. But what they're doing now, I expect it. And I expect more.
Yeah,
I can tell you, it's so important to be on the same page when you're a wide receiver, a person receiving the ball. Because when it comes to matchups, when it comes to players, it's very close. I could tell you right now, when we're going against the cornerback, it's very close when it comes to physical ability and all that. It's all about, how can I out chest move one player? How can I get a little bit of separation more? Now, if you're not in the same mindset, that's not going to happen yet. You still got to learn the routes. You still got to know where the player is going to be. In the NFL, that's huge. I mean, literally, a couple inches where the football is at is a big deal in the NFL. So, folks, let's take that concern and turn it into a smile, because, folks, the secondary is making plays. Tavai's making plays. That is huge.
Yeah, I was a little bit more concerned look, like, I know we want to hear TJ Hockenson is cooking everybody, but I was kind of like, dang, he cooking everybody though?
Yeah.
Like, can one of y'all cover somebody real quick?
You say he cooking the meal for everybody, huh?
I'm like, because I know it's in practice, but I still want y'all to go tight end every once in a blue moon, like. I'm like, that's not, so it works both ways, because if we hear the next few days of camp, I don't know how many more days left, that the defense is getting cooked, then y'all gonna go reverse mode. Is Matt Patricia really the guy? How good is his defense going to be? Like,
right. I mean, and to me, I just look at it and I say, you don't want to have this concern. Now, I think this is a very good question on the screen where it says, do you guys think the franchise should listen to the fans when it comes to drafting free agency contracts and extensions? Let me go first on this, and I'll let you guys tackle it. No. Our fan base has got to be the most fair weather fan base I have ever seen. And I don't understand it. And think about it from this standpoint. Our fan base, a lot of the times, like, they wanted Devin Bush. Like, I'm not saying that that's anything crazy, But they wanted Devin Bush, not understanding that we've never had a tight end, and Devin Bush doesn't come in and replace anyone, like at all. So we get too often caught up in stuff like that. And if we listen to, if the Lions listen to the fans as it pertains to a lot of the stuff, which is what they were doing back in the day. That's how we ended up with Charles Rogers. That's how we ended up with Mike Williams, because they were listening to the fans. But what say you? What say you, TA? I mean, should the Lions be listening to the fans as it pertains to free agency, contracts, players, and things like that?
No, I don't think that the management should be listening to the fans, because if we start listening to the fans, then we're going to be all over the place. We're going to be over here, we're going to be over there, a little bit over there, here. No, I definitely don't think that we should be listening to the fans, because it's good. I'm gonna say it like this: it's good to get some input from fans and kind of see where the fans are going with it. But at the end of the day, they got scouts. They got scouts that get paid to scout players and go out and they do a good job of it. And the thing about us as fans, we don't get to see all the players. We don't know all the players. So you once you think that the Lions are going to draft someone, okay, I'll put it like this, guys. Like how we do videos, and when we put those videos out here, we're saying, okay, the Lions should go after this type of player. This is the type of player I think that the Lions could fit in the Lions scheme. And then when draft night comes, the Lions draft somebody totally different from what you guys wanted the Lions to draft, and that's how it would be. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I would say that the fans have some input, but at the end of the day, the management is going to make the best decision for the team. So because because a lot of people did want to get greedy, but we did not get Greedy Williams. A lot of people,
right? And think about that. If we picked up Greedy Williams, and I'm just being honest, Greedy Williams could probably 2-3 years learn the game and be good. I don't got 2 or 3 years. I need somebody to come in right now, hitting the ground running. And
to
me,
picked Amani in the 5th round, so we don't need no Greedy when we got Amani. A luxury pick, like I've never.
People wanted us to get Sweat. Yeah, they did. That would have been terrible.
Wait.
Can you imagine we got Montez Sweat instead of TJ Hawkinson?
He said, "Go ahead, hit me with it."
If we got Montez Sweat over TJ Hawkinson, I would take my head and throw it into a wall.
Now, George Marcus,
what I feel like? I think. First of all, it depends on the front office, and it depends on the fan base, because I'm gonna just say, like, some fan bases are much smarter than others and know a little bit more about football. Like, if you were to tell me that the Patriots fan base voted on their players, I wouldn't have any issue. But if you were to tell me the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions, voted on our players, it would be a nightmare. And even if you were to tell me that Shy Toilet fans, pick their quarterbacks for the next 10 years, I wouldn't have a problem with that, because their management can't draft a quarterback to say they like. So
right.
It just depends on certain situations, but on certain teams, because it's certain fan bases that it might not actually be that bad, but our fan base is definitely not the one, because we would have traded up, got Cleveland Farrell like Oakland or something. Knowing our fan base.
Well,
so we would have got Rashawn Gary, knowing our fan base.
Right, because that's what we wanted him,
If we would have listened to our fan base, I just watched a YouTube video of 2 knuckleheads in their parents' basement talking about how Mike Daniels can't rush the passer. And they were upset that we got him.
Beavis and Butthead.
I literally thought it was a troll. That's how moronic it was.
I mean, and then they even had the audacity in that same video to talk about the guy, like, because Matt Patricia had a foot injury, and that's why he was on the cart. They was talking about his weight, like that was strange. Let's put it that way.
Anybody wondering for an update, if you had any hopes about Drew Lock, he looks very bad out there right now.
Back
to you, Luke. I'm just letting you know, first preseason game, you look like garbage. But back to you, Luke.
Now, one
barn burner there, 7-0, folks. That's a great game.
I mean, but like, let's be honest. What Hall of Fame game has ever been good? Like, there's never, because they know.
That's why we're doing this.
I don't need the game to be good, but I need to see something.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with seeing a little football, but man, those games are not great.
A lot of punting going on right now.
Now next week on the 8th. That's when the Lions play the Patriots. That's their first preseason game. So, but you know, we got one Pride 40 who says, what you think if we actually drafted Oliver over Hot? So considering we got Mike Daniels, still got
I was
Hot,
about to say that, Luke.
and then turned around and still got money to blow like they Rick Ross. I would have been upset.
Yeah, considering we got Mike Daniels, I would have been highly like upset.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
we got Mike Daniels. What do we need? What do we need this guy for at all? Now that we got Mike Daniels, like Mike Daniels is going to be way better than he would have been his rookie season. I don't want to hear anything different. And now we got T.J. Hawkins and Mike Daniels.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and the next question, Dominic Davis says, who leads our teams in sacks this year? It's going to be a linebacker. I feel like it's going to be some type of linebacker or an outside rusher. So either it's going to be Romeo Okoro or it's going to be Kennard. It's going to be an outside guy because a lot of our.
I think it'll be Aquara. That's what I'll go with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Romeo came on and did well for us last season. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that was a great pickup too, man.
I'm gonna go. I'll go with like Jelani or Jared Day, one of them two.
Okay.
Now we got Vash Starward who says this actually is better. It seems. Hey, we appreciate it, man. The creator of the program, man, the dude is phenomenal. So shout out to him.
Awesome.
And he's making this possible. And it comes with a lot of great features and it's fun to do. We got Marcus Willis in the building. What up, though, man?
What's up, Marcus?
Marcus don't know this, but I love Marcus profile photo, man, because I rock bow ties myself, and people don't understand that bow ties is it's a fashion statement for the most.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just saying, man, when you rock that bow tie, you bought that business. So Rule Switch says, in terms of Drew Lock, he's got years to learn behind Flacco. I don't know if he got years because
you know what you mean, weeks.
Yeah.
I think he'll.
Right, no, Joe. I mean, if the Broncos end up being a good team, it'd be because Joe Flacco is not trash. So
now Marcus Willis says, I like the new look. Appreciate that.
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it, Mark.
One prize say, but they need to hit Planet Fitness. They darn self. So I take it one prize. Saw the video we saw where they were on full out attack mode about the head coach's weight. It was strange.
Right, it's only $10 a month.
That's how everyone outside of the Lions fan base thinks about Lions fans. Those two guys right there.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. We got George Morgan says, "Thank you, J Mo. I let the wifey put on a show." I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know what that refers to, but I'll take your walk.
I don't know what that is. General G. Berry says, Daddy duties calls, fellas. Great stream like always. I'm gonna catch the rest later. Have a good night. One pride or don't ride. I love that saying. And
all right, G. Berry. All right, fam.
Yeah, I think we and DSA gonna have to adopt that. One pride or don't ride. In other words, if you don't rock with us, don't rock with us. But if you do, rock with us and rock with it all night. That's how we gonna do it.
Absolutely, man.
All night, baby.
We love the General, man. That guy is with us to the end, man. So much love to General.
And that's one thing with the General, man. He rock with all the Detroit Lions YouTubers, man.
Yeah,
shout out.
Yeah. He is definitely about unity, just like how DSA is. Rule says he thinks Flowers is going to be our sack leader. We have one Pride Detroit who says he thinks it's going to be Bryant. We got GM, aka George Morgan, who says he thinks it's going to be Kennard.
Watch my boy Jelani Tavai gonna make the Pro Bowl. You heard it here first.
So you got Tavai making the Pro Bowl.
I'm just talking. Yeah.
I think Jelani Tavai is going to be a welcoming machine that people don't understand.
I think he will get some interceptions though.
Oh yeah, I do too.
He at least gonna get 2 for sure.
Well, I mean, if you look at what he do, man, how he do it, right now he looks really smart out there, man. Like it's no joke. Yeah. He looks really, really smart out there. And
I think we got a diamond, folks.
Diamond in the rough, baby.
Remember, that was my biggest takeaway from everything about Jelani Tavai was his intelligence, because that's one thing that stood out to me on tape. He looked like really, just like you said, smart out there.
Right. Combat Sack says, "Who's down voting? Need to support these guys."
Well, how many votes down? There's 2 votes down. Okay.
Yeah, Combat. The truth is to me, if you don't get that kind of energy, then you probably are not doing something right. Like I've never. Let me ask you this question, Combat. Have you ever seen a hater doing better than you? Because I shows have like never in life never seen a hater doing better than me.
Right.
And so when you get haters, they are nothing more than reassurance of what you are doing is the right thing to do. So to my haters, I say I love you.
And yeah, to my haters, I say I love you. Yep.
Yeah, I love you.
Hey, to my haters, you just motivate me to do better, man. So keep
That's
it up.
it, baby. That's it.
Ramon the New Wave says it will be Jared Davis. Interesting.
Ooh, yeah, that's very interesting.
I like
And
it, man.
so does Craig Roberts. He says Jared Davis as well.
Yeah.
What is this showing, folks? That we have a lot of players on the team that can make plays. I mean, the whole fan base
I've been
is
saying
throwing
that
out
all
different
year.
names. I love it.
Yeah, I think
I've
Davis.
been sounding like a broken record talking about how good our team is. So, you know.
Yeah, I think
I like
Davis
that
is ready to. Davis gonna be ready for a breakout, man. He gonna, he had 100 tackles last season, and I think he's just gonna do a little something better for an encore this season. So I can't wait to see how well Davis will look out on the field this season.
Now, Rule says Davis is a middle linebacker. Middle linebacker. Better hope he's not the leader.
Wait, how does that even make sense?
But I think what he's saying is if he's the one doing a lot of the work, that it can leave some other areas open in the middle of the field because he's the linebacker. But they're gonna do a lot of 3-4, 4-3, nickel, you name it. It's gonna be out there, so it's no way of getting around it. To be truthful, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now Jared Davis got a huge yes, he did. I thought it was just me who noticed that, man.
Yeah, he looked
like bro, he got big out here in these streets.
He's a tank, man.
Yeah, he like the Hawk, bro.
Man, I love this dude's avatar with Homer on the hog, baby. I love the avatar, man. But he says Kennard Davis survived the dark horses. I can see it. Wow, you guys have Flacco underrated, guys. Underrated.
What do you mean?
Underrated.
Man, look, man. All right, let me just say one. I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. I know Luke and others don't really think that highly of him, but when you lose your spot to a quarterback with the throwing abilities of Lamar Jackson in the middle of the season, when y'all still, when you have a top 3 defense at the time, how good are you really? And I think Lamar is special, but you're not going to tell me Lamar would have unseated Kirk Cousins through the middle of the season.
No way.
Like, you're not unseating no Alex Smith or even a Dak Prescott or just a mid-tier quarterback. He's not unseating them throughout the middle of the season. But if you're a trash-tier quarterback, oh, yeah, you will unseat you.
And I'm talking about a quarterback that won a Super Bowl before, too. Kind of crazy.
Now, Michael Perez says, who does music in general on here? I can mix and master audio if anyone needs. I'm an audio engineer. Mike Perez, look me up on Twitter. We got some talking.
Oh, we're going to have to do some work together.
That's a rap for these.
Absolutely,
look DJ and Micromike with Mike.
I don't know why y'all don't think Mike can spit. Mike got some bars, man. One day he's going to have to show y'all, man. He's going to have to show y'all them bars, man. Mike be out here. Mike told me he could spit, man. I thought he was
playing like Matt Kellerman.
Yeah, I thought he was playing when he said that, and then I realized, like, oh, he's not. He's serious. I was like, okay, One prize says, I think we should trade for a guard. Who? I mean, it was so bad that the New York Jets went and got Khalil out of retirement. To play center. The market for linemen and trading is really slim right now, and I don't think a lot of teams want to trade them. There were a few guys who was there that I thought we could have gotten, but we didn't, and I kind of wish we did, but it just didn't happen like that.
Hey, Luke. Devin 99 says, I hope Brendan Powell makes the team. Do you guys think he will?
Ooh, that's a close one. I think it's the battle between him and Curse.
Yeah.
I think that will determine who gets that spot.
Man. Somebody not going to make it.
I'll tell you one thing about Brandon Powell and why I would want him to make the team because of this. His yards after the catch with his speed. And I was watching some Lions games where he made his only plays he had the opportunity to make. that's a real advantage to have that yards after the catch, the speed he has. That's something
Yeah.
that Jermaine Kearse just cannot give you that burst.
Yeah.
I would like to have that on my team, but
Yeah.
I hope he makes a team. I had him making a team, especially over Jermaine Kearse. If
I
that
mean,
was the guy,
you would think he would somehow, some way make the team, but I haven't heard much about Curse. I heard that Curse has had some moments, and Powell to me is one of them guys that I think the Lions might feel confident that they can stash on practice squad. Man, they have been playing a dirty game with it.
yeah. But if they stash him, who they putting above him? And I did hear Curse doesn't have good chemistry with Matthew Stafford right now.
Well, he better figure out how to get it ASAP. Call him up on the phone, take him to dinner or
Yeah.
something. Go get him
They
a
like
pony dog.
Andy Jones kid. They like Andy Jones for some reason.
Yeah, they do. They do like Andy Jones a lot.
I think he didn't play well last year, but that was all Stafford. Stop giving him credit.
Now they said Dominic Davis says because they're doing it in the game. How do you guys feel about the challenge of the pass interference? I think it's a little bit too late. I mean, we needed that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because now what it does is it creates these different narratives for haters to say, or so what about that call? Stafford still didn't do it. So for me, I think it's a little too late. What say you fellas?
It doesn't matter because the refs are always going to, for whatever reason, the refs are always biased against the Lions. And I've watched a lot of football games, and I'm not just talking Lions. I've seen a lot of NFL games. Even with the rule change, I don't see it even helping us out anyways. It's just for whatever reason. I don't understand what the idea is and why we have this luck when it comes to the referees, but I don't see it changing and helping us out in any way. What do you say, JMO?
I just don't know, man. That's what I say. I just don't know, man.
I feel like we are at a point with the Lions where I put it this way: we're 1 week away from seeing our first live action of this new team, and you're going to see it with them calling all the old plays from KFC. Like no joke, no nothing. It's going to be all the old stuff. And
I like what Craig Robinson said.
What did he say?
He said Powell is tiny, reminds me of the dude for the Eagles. I think he meant what was his name? Sproles, yeah.
Yeah, he came back on the team too this season. Sproles.
I thought he retired. He didn't retire?
He coming back.
He retired, but he came back. And these new rule changes, we've been scarred so many times. I don't care what rules they change. Like, give me those wings back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I just don't. I don't know if they're gonna give Powell the love that he's looking for. And to me, I see it's a lot of love in the chat for Powell. The question becomes,
Powell nice, man. He deserves a shot. I remember screaming for Jake Billingsley to see the roster for 3 years, and we never put him on there, and it made me so mad.
Yep.
Yeah. I would like to see. I would like to see Powell make the team, but I know, because like J-Mo said, utilizing that speed is something that we need, man. We need gadget guys. We need guys that are like Swiss Army knives out there, man. Mm-hmm. That we can run some jet sweeps, we can run some reverses, and we can put some quick plays in there.
I think this is a great thing, but he's the third fastest player on the team. Like, we got so many fast players on the team now. After Johnson and Agnew, Powell is the fastest player on the team.
Right. I think for him to make the team, he's got to really show as well that he could do special teams. I think, when it comes to that last spot or that last couple of spots, you got to really show your multitask ability. He's got to show on special teams. Now, we've seen in camp that he was taking on punts and doing some of those duties. Ultimately, I do think it's going to go to Agnew when it comes to punt kick return.
I think Agnew will keep his job.
You do need a reserve and an individual that can tackle when it comes to special teams. So if he wants to make the team, he's really got to prove himself there.
Now, Devin99 says Noah Fant has 4 targets, 1 reception, and 7 yards so far. I think Noah Fant will get better, but I think this is where we got to pay close attention to how it goes, because this would be the best way for us to see the difference between the tight end, who hand was always in the dirt, and TJ Hockenson, and the tight end asked to be a receiving threat, and Noah Fant. But to be thrown at 4 times and only got 1 reception, That's a rough start right
Hall of
there.
Fame game is one of the worst games I ever seen. I mean, this is the fourth time I've seen a punt returner bobble the pass. Like it just happened again. Like they can't do nothing but bobble. Like this game, the quality of this game is so low. They need to push this back a week. Man. Like they ain't ready. Man.
Because
Like,
you got the reserves of the reserves, man. That's what
it's
they
not
do
that
with
you
the
got the reserves. It's just they suck. I don't see good reserve. I don't think good reserves of reserves on certain teams. The Hall of Fame game last year with the Bears and the Ravens was better than this, and this is horrible right now.
Well, this is a question that leads into something that I know J-Mo want to get into, but it says, can y'all list your favorite 3 receivers you want to make it after Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, and Danny Amendola? Yeah, I could do that. And Brian Ellis says, yeah, this game is pretty lame. Listen, people, this is why I don't watch the Hall of Fame game, because they are just trying to usher back in the football season with this. And then tomorrow, they do all the ceremony for the gold jackets. And then you don't get your real football until afterwards. So, you can't buy into the Hall of Fame game. That's just like basically like the whistle. You remember when you was in gym class and the gym teacher would blow that whistle to let you know it's time to clean up? That's what that is.
5 preseason.
It's a warm-up game.
Oh my goodness, bro! These dudes are horrible.
7-0,
what
man.
Quarterback is that, bro? You better hope Matt Ryan don't get hurt. He is boo-boo.
Well, I can tell you this much now. So here's my 3 receivers that I want to make the team afterwards. I want Travis Fulgham to make it, and I want Duhart to make it. Why? Because they're blocking receivers and they're big. And then after those two, I personally want to keep Powell because I think he provides a slot receivers mentality, and you can work him in and out with Danny Amendola and other people. But overall, I am okay with that. Micromike, what 3 receivers you want to see make it past the known 3 that's going to play?
Well, obviously, I want Fulgham to do it. I think that we drafted this guy to be eventual stud for the Lions, and I think he's going to do that. He's going to take a little bit of time, but that's okay. I think his ability to develop, kind of like we did with Kenny Galladay, is vital towards the Lions. Now, in my opinion, it's who do I like or who I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is not who I want, but I think in reality it's going to be Curse over Brandon Powell. And the reason I think this is because they're looking for a veteran to make a critical play. And for whatever reason, I think that's going to take place. Now, I prefer Brandon Powell. I like the younger style. He's 5'8". I think he's 180 pounds. He has the ability to do some of what Golden Tate did. And you got to understand when it comes to Amendola, he's 33 years old. The probability that he'll get injured seems to be likely throughout the season. And I think that Brandon Powell could be a good complement to that, just in case if he gets injured. Now, for when it comes to another reserve, man, I don't know, man. I think they're going to go 5 wide receivers. I truly do. And I think they're going to go with that tight end. I think we're going to have Nada as a tight end, and I think he's going to take that spot, but he'll be utilized as a wide receiver threat throughout the season. Not a whole lot in the beginning. I think it's going to take him time to develop, but I would throw him in the mix, even though he's not a wide receiver, but I think he'll be utilized as a receiver threat.
Okay. And what say you, TA? Who are those 3 that you want to see?
Man, I definitely want to see Travis Fulgham. I want to see Powell, man. I do want to see Powell make it, and I do want to see Duhart. And the reason why I want to see those 2 rookies make it is because we need that girth. Both of those guys are excellent in blocking. Both of those guys are coming off a 1,000-yard season with their respective colleges, and I just want to be able to see some new receivers come in. I know Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones are going to get the bulk of the targets or whatever, but I definitely want to see some of these young guys be incorporated in the system so that we can prepare for the future, because definitely I don't know how long we're going to have Marvin, but I want to see guys like Fulgham and Duhart make the roster, man, because their size, both of these guys are like 6'2", 6'3" guys, and both of these guys are good at blocking and that's something that we need, especially from the receiver position, because sometimes receivers don't like to block as much, but those two guys do.
I'm with that, man. What say you, J-Mo? I know you know, like I said, this leads off into it, but they got some good questions up in the chat, and that's why
yeah, I wanted to answer one of the questions in the chat before I got to mine. Somebody said something about did we see King's video, and they was mentioning running
you're
back.
talking about Lions Lee. You talking about this one right here?
Didn't see the video, but I have heard a lot of rumblings about Mark Thompson, and honestly, he could be great. But the thing is, for lack of a better word, Zach Zenner has too much clout on the team, so we're not gonna replace him for anybody right now, unless that person looking like Saquon Barkley. Right, and then Ty Johnson is definitely right, and Ty Johnson is definitely gonna make the team. Then you have CJ and Kerryon. So no matter how good Mark Thompson looks, unless he goes in the preseason and run for 100 yards a game, then we're gonna have something to talk about. But
right,
you have to ball out in the preseason. You have to like outdo Ty Johnson in the preseason. But the wide receivers, I agree with TA and Luke with Duhart, Fulgham and Powell, but the thing is, I don't think we're carrying 6 receivers, so I'll just say Fulgham and Powell. I don't think we need Jermaine Kearse, and I know people are talking about the veteran and all. Man, we have Danny Amendola. To me, that's more of an SOL type of move to get Jermaine Kearse and let the young, speedy receiver who already has a little bit of chemistry with Stafford go. Yeah, you know, I'm just not gonna take that. Now they have Duhart. I like Duhart, so I'm not gonna trip if they have Duhart in. But I would say just Fulgham and Powell and just leave it at that, and then carry 4 tight ends because I think Logan Thomas is really making his case.
Now Dominic Davis says, which one upsets you the most? Takes clock runoff at the review against Atlanta, Pettigrew, flag pickup, Calvin's completing the process, or Earl Thomas batting the ball. The Earl Thomas batting the ball always. And I want to say that I think that was Cam Chancellor who knocked it out the back of the end zone, not Earl Thomas, but you could be right. I can't remember.
I think it was Cam. I think it was Cam.
I thought it was Cam Chancellor who knocked it out the back, but that one gets overlooked a lot of the times where the referees just didn't know. To me, of all those that irritated me the most, it had to be the Calvin Johnson no catch, because it's nothing worse than you seeing something with your own eyes and being told that that's not what you saw.
Yeah, that was horrible, man.
Mine was the flag, man.
You know, when he caught that ball, I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs. I lost my voice. I ran down the hallway. I came back, and I was like, the reaction that happened that night after I came back and saw that they put that touchdown away.
Yeah, that hurted, man. That hurted big time.
I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, it was at that moment that we probably lost 30% of our fan base. So that's why everybody was like, you know what, I'm done with the Lions, man. Like,
I think that's the day, man, that everybody walked away with a tear in their eye, man.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing that bothered me was they said, well, he didn't control it enough, and I was like, so falling on his butt, his leg, rolling over, putting the ball on the ground and getting up, that's not control,
right? And he still had possession of the ball.
But the thing is, he rolled on the ground,
it's crazy.
Ooh.
But what irritated me the most was when they literally turn around and show the example of how, like, what would be a challengeable play now under this new rule, and they show what the play against the Lions where he's completely getting past interference, and they like no. So it's a trip on. I mean, the Lions seem to somehow be the trendsetters in rules and cashing in at the bad time. We have Nomis J in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Nomis?
What up, Nom?
I think you there. No, you there?
You hear me?
I hear you now. What up, man?
What's going on? Sorry I'm late. Family situation. Really sorry, but
hey, man,
what's up, Dr. Dirks? What's up, Dr. Dirk? Hey, what's up, Nom?
What's going on?
You got it.
You know. And shout out to Micromike, man. He up here keeping these updates coming like nobody's business. If y'all don't tell you, man.
Atlanta's got an amazing interception before half.
Man, yeah, man, 99-yard touchdown.
Hey, you can't get mad, man. Can't get mad. I mean, Richard Head says, "How have the young offensive linemen looked, Bo and Pope?" Pope has looked about what I think he's going to look about. He's had some struggles from some of the because what I have to do is I have to like pay attention to different clips and highlights, and then King is obviously going there, so I trust his word because he hasn't given me a reason not to believe it. So and to me, when I look at Pope. Pope looks like a guy who's still in the process of getting the nuances of the position down. In the case of Bo, I'm not hearing much about Bo.
I'm not hearing much about him either.
To me, you're not gonna really.
Kenny Williams, bro.
But to me, you're not gonna always hear much about those UDFA linemen really till like preseason time comes. As soon as they start that, because I noticed that's when it always goes down. And if I had to say anything, have we all seen and forgot about the free agent guard we signed, Obashi?
Obushi.
Nobody forgot about him. He just ain't done it.
Yeah, I think
he's
always brought in to be a depth guy.
He's started in the lineup so far in camp twice out of, I believe, the 5 times or 6. He's been in twice. He was in the right guard today. Obushi was. Left guard was Joe Dahl. So they're mixing it up a little bit, but we're still seeing more of Wiggins at the left guard and Graham Glasgow at the right guard. But when it comes to Graham Glasgow, he's actually been really good. According to reports, he's been one of the best offensive linemen on the team so far in camp.
Wow.
So has Taylor Decker apparently has been good. So
quick correction. Positively Detroit, shout out to you, man. Another fellow DSA member. He says no, Cam is the one who punched it out, and Bobby Wagner is the one who batted it out the backfield. And George Morgan says wasn't it one too.
No, it's KJ Wright who batted the ball. Cam Chancellor popped it out, but KJ Wright batted it out.
Yeah.
Was it KJ? I can't remember. I just know that they were supposed to be a penalty, and they didn't call it.
What positively said is what happened.
Okay, I just remember Cam Chancellor. I remember Cam Chancellor being in the play, and I remember getting irritated about it. Like, bro, you got to hold on to the ball, and get it. Now, Mellow Mo says, "I like this new setup. Hey, appreciate it. As you can see the Detroit Lions logo in the background. So,
and again, when it comes to the avatars, it's getting worked out. This is a new program. The creator totally understands the situation, and he will get it fixed. When it comes to coding, it's difficult sometimes, and I'm very happy that he decided to open this up simply because Google Hangouts went out. But he will get it fixed, and you will see everyone's pictures soon.
Yes, true. Now we got Vagistan. He says, "I don't want the refs and the media to hate against Detroit. That sucks. I hate the crap so much." Shrugs. I think it has gotten better, but that Falcons game, oh my God. Actually, let me tell y'all something. The Falcons game, I knew they was going to run the clock out. I knew it. They had just talked about that earlier that year at the owners' meeting. I was like, oh my God, they finna run 8 seconds off because we blew a timeout. I knew it. And when it happened, I was just like, this is a bunch of trash, because the truth is, what I saw was a guy who caught the ball, and I'm like, the defender is on him the entire time. So either it's a pass interference, or at the very least, it's illegal contact. But they didn't call neither, and that's what I was more irritated with. So it was very irritating.
That Falcons game sums up why I don't like Golden Tate that much. I liked him as a player, but he choked whatever he could. The Steelers game, a lot of Lions fans don't like to bring that up, but to me, it's a two-edged sword. If Golden Tate is better and gets it over the goal line, we're not having this problem. And you could call interference, and the ref shouldn't have screwed us like that, but all in all, that game kept us from a playoff appearance, and it hurt. That game hurts a lot. It's a lot of games that season that hurt a lot. That game, the Bengals game, the Steelers game. This is why Caldwell ain't here no more.
The Saints.
Yeah. Now,
the Saints game was the Saints game.
One Pratt 40 does Baldwin make the team? Yes. I think they want a traditional fullback, and he's going to play that. So
yeah, we got CJ Anderson. You ain't know?
Yeah.
Yep. Has there been any news on Donald Parham? The six, he been cut a long
I
time
thought
ago.
we cut him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. He probably in
He's-
Canada now, man.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I knew he wasn't making
Canadian League.
the minute they said that he was a 6'8" slot receiver. I said, "Oh, well."
We got problems.
Yeah, and then they said, "Well, he's a tight
Houston,
end."
we have a problem.
You know, they said he's a tight end. I'm like, Houston, yeah, we have a problem. It's a done. Yeah, he's not here. And so I hope Duhart goes to the practice squad if he doesn't make the 53, but I don't want to lose him. I think those big receivers that do go to the practice squad, they generally get picked up.
Yeah, I definitely believe if Jonathan Duhart doesn't make this roster and he goes to a practice squad, he's gonna be gone.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's possible as well.
Listen,
Yeah.
y'all ain't peep out Dr. Dirk's avatar with the lion with the glasses on, like the professor that he is. Y'all ain't peep
like
it out,
that,
man.
man.
Shout out
No,
to
I've
Dr.
been
Dirk.
through that, man.
He says, I like that Galladay's saying that the coach Bev's been putting them in position to make plays. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it is what it is. Rule says you can't blame Calvin. He's going for the win there. No, I blame Calvin for that play when he lost it because we had a timeout and it was time on the clock for us to still run the play, and we had to first. He didn't need to reach out for that touchdown. It's the same thing that happened with Des Bryant. You had time on the clock. You didn't need to make that play. You got to be aware of what's going on. If only we could see more than just Mike. So let me just tell y'all why y'all don't see me. It is because of work reasons that I cannot be on camera. It is a safety issue, to be honest with you, and for that reason, I cannot be on camera because of work reasons. So I get on camera, I am then unemployed, and then I'll be able to produce 3 and 4 videos a day, and I'm not trying to do that. I need to be able to.
Family to feed.
Yeah, I got a family feed, man. Like y'all don't even understand. Like I got a son and I got another son on the way, and I cannot be on camera for safety purposes and because it could be a conflict to me having employment. So Nicholas says, where's the super chat, Luke? I've been waiting since you hit 1,000. Nick, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've been standing away from super chat because my belief is I do this for the community, and so I'll probably set the super chat up when I hit 1,100, probably or a little bit higher. But I'm really trying to stay away from it because I just want to be able to have a community of people who just talk football. And I do appreciate the support. The best support I can have from any subscriber on here is coming on here, rocking with me, having conversation, being a part of the community, being a part of the process, and going back and telling others, listen, go over here, watch this guy. We're going to get fair representation. That's the greatest support. I'm not looking for money from you fellas and ladies and even the young adults.
Yeah, we just
men and women. I'm just here for us to have the thing. So that's why I haven't got it set up yet. But I will do my best to set it up because that's something you really want. I want to make sure I'm appeasing to you because I just want to be a part of the community. Mellow Mo says Google Hangouts kind of sucked anyway. Yeah.
it did.
So
Right now.
Yeah, we had to take advantage of it as best as we could.
Right. And the benefit of us doing the Google Hangouts when we started was it was the easiest way to get multiple people on without having to what's the word I want to use? Do a lot of extra stuff. You know, some people they like using this thing called OBS, and OBS it's a good way to stream. It really is. But there are a lot of things that people don't realize about OBS. OBS is extremely hard on a computer. It uses so much CPU up. You know, and when I did the research on it, you know, you start getting past 3 people, it just digs into your computer. So that's why
It's a lot of delays at times too. Yeah.
That's why we used other stuff. It says by the time he completed the catch, he crossed the O line. Okay. I mean, he's talking about Calvin Johnson. I mean,
Brian.
Yeah, look, listen. I mean, there's so many questions in here, man. It's ridiculous. It says that's awesome about the programmer for the new setup. You guys rock for real, man. Cause come on, America root for Detroit. Yeah, hey, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. And listen, and I wasn't finna embarrass myself trying to make that sound effect because y'all ain't finna make no fun of me. I know top tier somewhere around here waiting to jump on me. Top tier. This is why I love top tier. Corrects me every time I mess up somebody's name. He's like, bruh, and he put it in there the way it's supposed to be pronounced. I'd be like, listen, man, I'm not good at this. I know sports. I don't, I'm not good with the names. But on another note, J-Mo, I know you want to talk about the top 5 receivers and how can we get into our receivers into that list. So go ahead, man, shoot away at that.
For 1 second, I like somebody said something in the chat. They said a lot of pundits are saying Baker Mayfield is better than Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson does what he does, playing with a bad offensive line. I just want to know: does anybody think Baker Mayfield is better than Deshaun Watson?
H to the no.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say not yet. I think what people don't realize about Baker Mayfield is when he got to that team, he already had a receiving core, already had a tight end, already had offensive lineman, already had a run game. He literally had 4 running backs on the team that they utilized throughout the entire process, plus a tight end, plus he had and this is no knock to Baker. I don't want people to act like it's not the case, but some people come into situations that are better than others. He came into a situation that was scientifically proven to cater for him to succeed, and that is where I see a difference. In the case of Deshaun, he had to deal with some different avenues. No lineman. The run game was okay with Lamar, but he had the running back. I mean, he had the receiver obviously in Hopkins, but outside of Hopkins, who's the other receivers?
Nobody.
Yeah, I respect Deshaun Watson to me. Before I had saw Patrick Mahomes, of course, he was the best young quarterback in the league, and it's mainly because his production with his scrambling ability. And he has no O-line. When I say he has no O-line, his first game he got sacked 7 times.
That's crazy.
I remember he replaced Tom Savage, and the Jaguars ended up getting 10 total sacks that game. Mm-hmm. So,
well, hold on.
He's playing without a line and one good receiver, and his defense is so iffy.
Well, hold on. Can I say this real quick though? You just hit the nail on something you said before, Patrick Mahomes, and I feel you. But the thing is, to me, I feel like if you put Deshaun Watson on that same Chiefs team, it would have been the same type of year if he stayed healthy.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I think Deshaun Watson is that good, but Mahomes was doing some stuff. Like, it's production because Alex Smith was very productive in that offense, but he wasn't doing the stuff Mahomes was doing. So, I do think that Watson is better than Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to be better than him, like, for the rest of their career too. I'll go out and say that. So,
now, really quick, I want to put this out. Dr. Dirk says, "Forget that super chat. I'm waiting to hear that Micromike freestyle." You know what? I tell y'all what. Y'all want to hear Micromike freestyle? Get my man to 1,000. You gonna hear the freestyle when he hits 1,000.
I'll do it freestyle. Get me to 1,000.
Let's go back to the top 5 receivers. Everyone in the chat, I want to know, you guys, who do you think are the top 5 receivers in the NFL, and how can we get there this year? Now, I know our receivers haven't done enough to where in 1 year they could be a top 5 receiver, but it's about being at that level this upcoming season, But I just wanted to know who everybody thinks is the top 5 receivers in the NFL right now.
Okay. Well, I think, no particular order. I'm gonna just do top 5 on the top 5.
Order.
Order?
Order. Yeah,
okay,
we gotta make it tough, man.
Okay, man.
Oh man, you making it hard for us, man.
All right, so number 5, I'll go with Michael Thomas from New Orleans. He just got a big contract. I think he's a very good wide receiver for New Orleans, especially having Breeze as the quarterback. When it comes to number 4, as long as he can stay healthy, I think Odell Beckham Jr. can do well with Cleveland with Baker Mayfield's quarterback. The question is,
here in the building. What's up?
He needs to stay healthy.
Yo.
Atlanta's Julio Jones, a very good wide receiver as well. Dude's just a beast, straight beast. I'm a little worried about Devontae Adams from Green Bay. I think number 2, I think he could be good. I think he had a lot of plays this year. And still, Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. Do I think he's the best?
Wait. You got Devontae Adams as number 2?
Yeah, and then
that's who he got.
And then number 1, God. I got J-Mo. Let me speak.
He's not being your twin right now.
I know he's being my Eagle twin, J.
No, I mean I can laugh if you say Devontae Adams is the second best receiver in the league. Now I can laugh.
Now, number one, without interruption from Mr. J. Mo, would be DeAndre Hopkins from Houston. I think he's a great wide receiver. His quarterback is going to give him the ball a lot and feed him some more. So I think sky's the limit for him. And if you want to talk about Devontae Adams now, from a fantasy standpoint, he killed it last year. I think he ranked as number 6 fantasy wide receiver is best. So he got a lot of points. I didn't have him on my team, but again, as long as Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, he'll be impact. But that's the question mark. Can he be staying healthy? I don't know.
I do want to say I don't think we should bring up fantasy when talking wide receivers. Fantasy football is fantasy football. But this is why I wanted to do this list because I knew some people was gonna say some crazy things. All right, Nomis, who are your top five receivers? Rich Law says J-Mo chill. I hope that's not referring to Devontae Adams being the second best receiver in the league. Come on. But Nomis, go ahead, man.
I'll try some different names that I really like. I'll put Devontae Adams actually at number 5.
Wow.
What is with y'all?
Wow. I mean, listen, J-Mo, it's all subjective, which means that they
I
have.
know.
But give him a minute. Give him a minute, man. Go ahead, Nomis.
I'm not doing Sessy. I don't do that. Number four, I'm going with Tom Brady's main guy, Edelman. I mean, he's the ranker of that whole offense. You know what I'm saying? Especially now that Gronk is going, obviously, will be still that main guy. Now, number 3, I'll still go with OBJ. I'll still go with OBJ at number 3. Number 2, definitely going with Atlanta's top receiver. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He just said his name. I'm going with Julio. And I still got to put Hopkins at number 1. I don't see nobody still really killing him.
I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you.
I like Dominique Davis' list. All right, Noble. Please put some sense out in the chat. Please, who your top 5?
Some respect on his name. All right, my top 5 would be skip it. I'm gonna do it a different way. I'm gonna go number 1. To me, the number 1 receiver right now in the National Football League is the diva himself, Antonio Brown. He's the number 1 receiver. Had 15 touchdowns last season, caught over 100 and something balls, and the guy just delivers. Even though he got antics, the guy brings it. I can't go wrong with that. Second receiver, I got to go Julio. Julio is number 2. And then the third, I'm going to go OBJ. And then my 4th receiver, I'm going to go Hopkins. And then the 5th receiver, I'm going to go Michael Thomas of the Saints.
I love Ramon the New Age. Man, that boy say the top 5 is Dylan. Because
your list would be better if it said Kenny G.
But the whole reference is brilliant, man. I mean, here's my top 5, and like it, love it, hate it, makes me no difference.
Did you hear my top 5 though?
I got your top 5.
What was it, Luke?
You gave Michael Thomas number 5. You gave Julio number 3. Number 4, you gave
Julio 2.
Julio 2?
Yeah, Julio 2.
Okay, so I heard Julio, Michael Thomas. I heard oh Jesus. I'm drawing a blank because I'm up here reading the chat at the same time. I'm drawing a blank.
OBJ number 3 and number 4, I got Hopkins.
Okay. For me, my number 1 receiver in the league, for me, is going to be AJ Green. I just think he is the complete package. I think number 2 would be Julio. Only reason I'm putting AJ ahead of Julio is because Julio do a lot of his damage down the field. AJ, you can get him a little bubble screen and he turn it to Golden Tate. It's crazy. So I'll go AJ Green. I'll go Julio, Hopkins. I'll take Antonio Brown, and then I'm going with. Man, this one is rough. The last one is rough, and I think the last one is rough.
There's plenty of guys to choose from, though.
I know, see, I like those guys who do something a little bit different. Like I'm gonna put Larry Fitzgerald in there because I like the fact that they have they all have this ability to run every route in the route tree. They have an ability to be able to be dominating in terms of after the catch, and they have the ability to make the tough catches. And they change the game. They force you to put an eye on them. So that would be mine.
I just want to say that everybody in the chat, this is why I wanted to do this, because we all have some guys that's not considered universally top 5 in our personal top 5s, like, Adams, Edelman, most people wouldn't have Fitzgerald in there. Like my 5th guy, most people probably wouldn't have him in there. So this is why I wanted to do this, because it's fun, man. It's fun to see. And yeah, AJ Green, Joseph Butler, AJ Green. That's why we do this, man. But I'm so upset with that Devontae Adams pick. I don't know why.
I love Devontae Adams. I don't know why you're upset with it. I think Devontae Adams is a phenomenal receiver, and he could easily be in that top 5.
He's not the second best receiver.
1,300 yards in third.
I mean, listen, how is he not? Like, let's be honest about this. Devontae Adams has made some of the most amazing catches in the NFL. He has been a huge nuisance to the Detroit Lions and the whole NFC North. And his own peers even agreed that he's one of the top 5. Go and look at the top 100. He's in that top 5 receiving core for his own peers.
He is not better than Michael Thomas. He ain't better than AJ Green. And I don't have this in my top 5.
The difference is that is subjectively your opinion. You're having that to be your opinion.
How is that subjective? We can go look at the stats.
But see, because stats only tell you one part of the game.
The stats for this season has
you can't say when I'm going by eye test is my opinion, but when I want to look at stats, it don't tell the whole story. Eye test, he's not as good as
I'll tell
Michael
you the stats
Thomas
for this season,
or AJ. I mean, Michael Thomas just had 120 catches.
AJ Green gonna miss time this year. He's already injured, and he's
Right,
already
hurt.
projected to miss weeks this year. When it comes to Antonio Brown,
better than Antonio Brown.
Derek Carr. It's
Derek Carr is all the quarterback.
So
anyway, let me do our top 5. Anyway,
hear this man's top 5.
Please.
Yeah, man. I don't know why you just so defensive over Devontae Adams, bro.
Listen, that's because it's subjective. I think to me, I
don't think, man. Something is not subjective.
Now, okay, well, listen,
better than Antonio Brown. Like, come on,
J-Mo, I tell you what, that gonna be our debate. Is he a top 5 person? And I guarantee you, I'm gonna prove that. Okay,
you're not. Anyway, number 1, I definitely have the guy who I think he should universally be number 1, and he continues to be disrespected his whole career because he does this no matter who's the quarterback, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. Didn't drop a pass last year. I don't even know how you do that.
He did not drop. He caught every pass thrown his way.
I don't know how you do that. The dude got 1,600 yards with Brock Osweiler. How do you do that? So, and then he got Deshaun Watson, and now he's as good as he is. The second, I think it'd be Julio Jones. Total package, he has Matt Ryan, and he has other talented around him, but he's just been consistent. Then the next, I would go with Antonio Brown. I mean, 15 touchdowns last year, a stat machine, the king of stats of this entire era since, maybe like a Larry Fitzgerald. But these last 8 years, he's been the stat king.
He's been beasting. Yeah, he has.
And he can do anything. So let's not get it twisted. He can do it all too. So, And then you got Odell. I don't even know what to say about Odell other than like he's a human highlight reel. He gets a lot of touchdowns. He gets a lot of yards, and he's been doing this playing with Eli Manning. I mean, him and DeAndre Hopkins probably playing with the worst quarterbacks out of any receiver that's considered elite. So I do give him a pass for that because Odell was playing with a better quarterback. What would his numbers look like? And then the 5th receiver, I love Michael Thomas. I'm just not going to put him there. No disrespect, but I'm going to put Tyreek Hill there just because I think what you command from a defense, like with Tyreek Hill, the amount of coverage he commands, it's like anybody like I'll keep saying, only player and obviously not to this extent, but the only player that I've seen in a long time get guarded like Tyreek Hill was old Megatron, just because you had to put so much on that side of the field. And when Tyreek Hill is playing with Travis Kelce, you won't Bill Belichick playing. It wouldn't stop Travis Kelce. It wouldn't stop Kareem Hunt. It would stop Tyreek Hill, and you beat the Chiefs. What happened? So I just think he's that special of a player. He doesn't need to be more consistent, but I think before he was officially a receiver, he was always that dangerous, man. But who has more INT, Slade, Walker's, and Diggs? I think Slade's going to have like 5 interceptions. Be interesting to see.
Okay.
I don't know why you posted Devontae Adams' number. Antonio Brown had 1,500. He had 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. Bro.
This is why I made my list, like, for at least the
Yeah, you said Julian Edelman. I let that go. I ain't going to say nothing.
Like,
I think
the
thing is there. You got to think how many receivers there are in this league, and so there's going to always be people. There are people who will tell you that Calvin Johnson is not a top receiver. There are people who will tell you that Adam Thielen is not a top receiver. They will say that Stephon Diggs is not a top receiver. But the truth is you have to be able to look at what each of those receivers do for their team, what it do for the division, what it do for the game, and how it change it. On a third down play, I would take Devontae Adams all day and then some. Because
Antonio Brown?
And one price says, what about Juju?
Yeah, Juju had a huge year last year. But he only did that 1 year, though. That's why I said no matter what any of our receivers do this year.
He did it 2 years.
He hit 1,400 yards?
Oh, not 1,400 yards.
No, I what he did last year.
And I think
last year he was video game.
And I think Rules make a good point too. Keenan is another guy who gets underrated as a receiver. Him and Mike Evans. I mean, they really do beast mode.
I forgot Mike Evans.
I like Mike Evans.
It's just, the problem is when you're doing a top 5, it's so many options, and I think that we overlook a lot of those options, and that's where a lot of the stuff come in at. That's why you have to be able to see it, and that's why I don't have a problem with hearing Devontae Adams. Now, if he had to say something like John Ross,
I don't know why Mike keep posting stats, man.
Because
1 year, Antonio Brown averaged 110 catches the last 5 years. What are we talking about?
This year, almost 1,400 yards, Devontae Adams. Antonio Brown, not 1,300 yards.
Antonio Brown's getting 1,300 yards.
Adams has 13 touchdowns.
He plays with Juju Smith-Schuster.
15.
Who else does Aaron Rodgers have to throw the ball to besides Devontae Adams?
That doesn't matter. It's still you still put
Aaron
up the
Rodgers
stat.
had Juju Smith-Schuster. Devontae Adams not getting 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns.
It says
whatever he had.
That's what he got right there. Near 1,400 yards.
He still has more touchdowns.
Let's go for season.
What are we talking about? Juju had more yards than Devontae. What are we talking about?
Hey, you know what I think? That would be a good debate. I know I could win that debate, but I think Micromike can snuff you in that debate, J-Man. I don't know. I think
I don't see how, bro. Like, you can't be a top 5 receiver off of 1 year.
Well, wait a minute.
Juju had 7 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had 13. Juju had 1,426 yards. Devontae Adams had 1,386. So he had 50 more yards, but he had 6 more touchdowns. So you're saying somebody that had 6 less touchdowns but 50 more yards is better? That's not correct.
I didn't say he was better. I said he had more yards. I said Antonio Brown is better. He is.
Devontae Adams had more yards than Antonio Brown.
So if you have more yards, that make you better?
He had 2 less touchdowns.
What are you talking about? So because Devontae Adams had 1,400 yards, every receiver who didn't have 1,400 yards, he's better than. Get out of here, bro.
He has 13.
Michael Thomas, so he's better than Julio Jones.
He's
better than Odell Beckham. What are you talking about?
The list is made personally to you. It's not about what everybody else thinks. The list should be based off who you like and who you think is a top 5 receiver because of what he's done for the team, not based off what the whole NFL already knows. That's why you have to.
Are you really gonna say Devontae Adams is better than Antonio Brown?
I didn't say he was better than Antonio Brown. Did you not listen?
Like that's like my opinion to be better than Stafford.
Not about who
that
I
would be
think
my opinion, but if I be like, yo, you tripping, then you tripping.
So if I say a quarterback list, right? Like you just said, right? If I put everybody 5 different quarterbacks, not named Matthew Stafford, you go accuse me of saying I think these guys are better than Stafford when that wasn't the question.
Preach. Preach.
Reason why
I mean, I had a problem with him being there, and he tried to tell me he was better than Antonio Brown.
I did not say that. I showed you the
he had a better year last year. He didn't say he was overall better.
I did not say he was a better player. I said he had a better year.
One guy had 3
and
more
that's the reason
touchdowns.
why
One guy
I put
had
him
200
number
more
2.
yards. What's considered a better year? He had 15 touchdowns.
He had 100 more yards and 2 more, or he had 100 less yards and 2 more touchdowns. Devontae Adams, in my opinion, he had 100 more yards and 2 less touchdowns. So now we're splitting hairs. So because I put a guy ahead of one, because I put one guy ahead of your guy, you're gonna think that's crazy. No, that's crazy talk.
No, I didn't say that. I said you put Devontae Adams as the second best wide receiver in the league. I said that was crazy.
Hey, it sounds like we got to debate. We got to debate.
There's no way Devontae Adams is the second best wide receiver in the league. That's crazy.
Gentlemen, what we have to do is we're going to have to say that for another day because we are up on that 2-hour mark, man. And I love this kind of stuff because this is what football is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a healthy, intelligent debate. And, you know, even the chat is blowing up laughing about it.
Right, they said somebody called Stephen A.
So don't worry, I'm going to have an answer. It's real simple.
Hey, call back too, man.
Right, like, see, that sounds like a Matt Kellerman argument. And I'm Stephen A. Like, bro, you crazy. Like, Mahomes not better than Tom Brady. Like, you
I tell you what we do. I tell you what we do.
Folks, the difference here is me and JMO are really good friends, and we actually don't get mad at each other, and we're not going to have a spat. We're laughing about this, and we're having a good time. So please do not take that this is going to be a fight like other individuals. JMO is probably one of my best friends when it comes to the DSA. We talk a lot. Without him, I would not be in the position I am at. Same with Luke G. Literally, JMO saved me on so many times when it comes to live chat, especially Subscriber Friday. So please don't take it like this. This is all about fun.
Yeah, we just having fun, fellas. It ain't, just a friendly debate. That's all.
And listen, we got to do it again, man. We got to do it again. So let's do this, people. Let's do this. Let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go. Boom. All right, let's do this. Let's get those final words. Let's start off with Mr. Nomis J. What you got for the final words, people?
Yeah, thanks. I know I came in again late, y'all, but thanks for having us here. And please subscribe to all the guys on this chat and the fellow members of DSA along with King. He's been putting out some fire training camp videos. And I like to say this is also the first time that I appeared on the Roundtable today on Luke G's channel.
It is true. That is true statement. Yes. Luke G been out of commission for 3 months though.
For a long time.
Yeah, long time.
I'm gonna have a little something for the fans soon coming on a Saturday. It'll be announced further down time. And let's just say you just got a hint of it tonight. Sometime tonight, you just got a hint of it. So we're gonna get more into development. And y'all stay safe out there. Thank y'all for joining us on the new thing we're working out with. And I actually gotta say I like it a lot. So again, blessings to all the people in the chat and the fellas on the chat tonight. And thank you.
All right. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and go down to We Talk Sports, period. Mr. Noble Sports Entertainment. TA, what you got for the people?
What's up, everybody? What it do? Man, great show tonight, fellas. We are determined, just like that sign says, we are determined to give you some of the hottest content on Detroit sports. That is what we're going to do, and that's what we have been trying to do. This is a community of guys that came together as a family, man, and we're going to keep that thing going. But I do have some videos coming out. Definitely, guys, make sure you check with those videos. They will be coming out soon on the Lions and some more Piston talk as well. But definitely, man, this is an awesome show. I love the platform. You see what we guys are trying to bring you and deliver you new content. We're coming to you in a more creative way, and we just aim to please, man. We aim to please you guys and give you some great content every Tuesday and Thursday. So definitely, man, be checking for that, and it'll be coming out to you soon. and I'm gonna give it over back to the maestro. Go ahead, Luke.
All right. And then we're going to go ahead and hand it off to the maestro himself, the Mr. of Mr. All Intros, Micromike. What you got for the people in the closing words?
Folks, appreciate you guys coming to Luke G's channel for the new setup. We're so excited to unveil this to you guys. This has been in the works for a while. We tried to keep it hidden, and we're super happy that you spent this time, especially on the preseason game, the first one of the year. You guys decided to come here and hang out with us instead of watching, the preseason game or other channels. We really, truly appreciate that. The DSA, we're doing our best to give you the best content humanly possible. Tomorrow, folks, I'll be at Ford Field with Joseph Dion and my twin, Mr. 313 JMO. Make sure you come and say hi if you're there. And hopefully we'll get a live stream in. I'm not 100% sure how the Wi-Fi is there, but we'll do our best to give you a awesome live stream and commentary when it comes to the Lions. So I'll bring it back to, go ahead and go, Luke.
Hey man, again, appreciate it. And like I said, this is something that we're going to always make sure that we rock with and that we produce and that we keep it clean and open as it pertains to the DSA. I am so excited that we got this new system up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. If you want to see more of this, definitely push the word out. Let people know that this is happening, that this is going on. Expect so much. You want to hear Micromike freestyle, you got to get him to 1,000 subscribers. Okay. Now Detroit Stone Big Will says he will be at Ford Field as well tomorrow, Micromike. So, he may come up and find you. Just don't be surprised if you do.
I got my jersey on that says Micromike. So if you see that, that's me. There ain't no other one.
Also make sure that you hit that like button before you head out. Also, make sure you hit that subscriber button and go tell a friend that we growing, especially if you're sick and tired of hearing unbiased, uneducated, all opinionated sports talk. We bring facts over here and we talk sports, period, as the saying goes with Noble Sports Entertainment. But as always, man, I just wanted to let y'all know we really appreciate this. And I know that you guys took time out your day to do it and to hit those thumbs ups and those likes up. So with that being said, I'll leave you with this great piece of it. Oh, you know what? I didn't do those words for J-Mo. I'm tripping.
J-Mo.
Oh, I wasn't about to let you go. I was just about to say something, and you stopped yourself.
Nah. I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it. But
I was gonna say, first of all, thank you, Luke, for putting that up there because I agree with that. Lions don't listen to the opinions of sheep. Yep. Hashtag Jelani Tavai,
Yep.
But speaking of that, I'm just obviously it's just training camp. We know this, but I'm just glad that our first two picks, the guys that are supposed to have the most impact on the team, are having a big impact on the team, regardless if it was OTAs or training camp. It's good to hear about it. I'm glad that the scars are it's not that many scars and we looking good. I hope we continue to look good in the area. Man, preseason is next week, man. Football is here. All I gotta say is, man, watch out for King Galladay. He's been killing it, man. I think he's gonna have a real great season this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, man, y'all rocked with us. So y'all the real MVPs. Appreciate y'all and all the support. Like I said, this is a whole new system. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. I see we got some love for the new system. So expect much more of this and some, and it's going to get better and better. With that being said, I leave you with this great piece of advice, people. Life is too short to take things so serious. Take a moment to reflect on oneself and ask yourself, is it really worth it? And if the answer comes out that it is, then so be it. But if it's not, if it don't apply, let it fly. And with that being said, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We out.
Chip City. Chip City.